At the very end of Joshua chapter 6, Joshua tells us 2 more times about Rahab, the woman who helped the Israelites spy out the city and help them take the city. Well, she was saved, just as the Israelites had promised that she would be. One interesting part of that when it talks about Rahab is that she wasn't the only one who was saved. It says that along with her was her father and her mother and her siblings. And it seems also that their families. Her entire family, everybody who was with her, was saved from this awful destruction. And as I thought about that and what it must have felt like to be them, in the middle of all of that destruction, but to be saved from it, it made me think of how so many will feel on the day that Jesus comes back. That so many will be saved from the destruction of our world that we know is coming. Will be saved completely and entirely from it. And we'll feel really glad and really grateful, not only to Jesus for what he did, for what he paid, for what he was willing to endure. I bet we'll also feel grateful for others. In the same way that Rahab's father and mother and siblings and their families would have. They would have felt grateful to Rahab. And for doing what? You know that Rahab shows up in another place in the Bible? She shows up in Hebrews chapter 11. And you might know that Hebrews chapter 11 is a pretty well-known chapter in the Bible. It's considered the Hall of Fame for people of faith. So the people whose faith was really, really great. Some people think that in order to have really, really great faith, to end up in the Hall of Faith for fame, or the Hall of Fame for faith, you got to do monumental things. You got to go across the planet. You got to save countries or save thousands, or you got to do something really big that everyone notices. But Rahab did something really simple. She lived her faith among her family. She believed in something. And she put that belief into practice. And that made an impact. The best kind of impact. It saved them. Her faith saved others. Not that she believed for them, but you know, if they didn't want to go with her, or the Israelites, they wouldn't have had to. Her faith made an impact. Just like yours does. Just like it does. You don't need to go on big missionary trips, though you can. You don't need to. You don't need to preach to thousands or even dozens. You don't need to do something that you might consider to be monumental that people end up talking about for generations. To be a hero of faith, just look at the people who are next to you, the people who are in front of you. Maybe it's a child. Maybe it's a spouse. Maybe it's parents. Maybe it's someone who's been good to you. Maybe it's someone who's made life really difficult for you. Maybe it's a stranger. Just remember Rahab in those moments. Remember what it is that made her so great. She believed in something. And she put that belief into practice. We believe in something too. We believe in someone who saves us from this world's eventual destruction. And that's something. When you share that with someone, that makes you something too. Something pretty special. It makes you a hero. A hero of faith that this world needs. Rest well tonight. my friend, my hero.